What's up, you filthy animals? Today we're going to be doing a Q&A, and I wrote the questions down that I got from Instagram. So we're going to be going over some questions today and see if I can give you guys some valuable insight and help you. So first and foremost, this is going to be uncut, unedited, and I'm laying in the sun. I apologize if there's terrible glare here. Yeah, fuck it. We're going to go right into it. Okay? Not to mention it's a beautiful day outside too, so God is good. And I do apologize, my neighbor's kid is having a bit of a temper tantrum, so we're going to try our best to get through these without any distractions, okay? Starting off with question 1. This person says, alrighty, we're back. The dog was barking. Question 1. How can I lose weight if I work nights and I don't have a lot of time? This is a great question because I worked night shifts. I was working a bunch of 12-hour shifts and coming home at 3 in the morning. And the number one thing that really helped me was controlling the controllables, right? Setting an alarm at a specific time to wake up every single day. I didn't want to oversleep in, but I want to make sure I was getting my sleep goals. Number 2 is going to be always prepping your food and having things ready to go. And always do this on the weekend, because this is really going to help you stay sustainable. And lastly is going to be optimizing your digestive window. Don't have a heavy meal right before you go to bed, even when you get home from work, because what it's going to do is it's going to trigger your body and keep it awake. Yeah, we're having a bit of distractions. It's a great question. Question 2, what is the biggest weight loss myth? I'm going to go with cardio. I think cardio is super overlooked, and people think they got to do this hour of cardio every single day to get this incredible physique. When ultimately what happens is you just sweat out a lot of your water, so you feel more deflated, and you obviously get the endorphins, the dopamine, and you feel a lot better about yourself. But physiologically, it's not really helping with your fat loss because it really doesn't care. Yes, you're burning more calories. However, what matters more is the food and the recovery you are getting. So I want to say that's probably number 1 is the biggest myth is going to be cardio, if I'm being honest with you. Number 4, how did you stay so consistent? From training for a marathon, just working, losing weight, the biggest thing that helped me stay consistent was having systems inside of my life. So I'd plan out my meals. I would plan out my days, my splits. I would do everything on Sunday, or I'd do it at least the night before if I had some adversity or something come up inside of my life, right? Essentially, let's say you live in a country where there's lots of snow. And what happens is there's a huge snowstorm coming. You got to drive to work tomorrow. So what do? You probably leave a little bit earlier so that you don't get caught up or potentially rush yourself and get in an accident and cause a fatality, right? The same concept applies here with irregular schedules, working longer hours, right? The more stress and decisions you can remove out of your life, the more consistent you're going to be and the more sustainable it's going to be for the long run. And so I really built my consistency off of adopting to my schedule, trying things out, seeing what works and what doesn't work. However, ultimately, I would have one reset day every single week. And for myself, it's every single Sunday. And that's exactly what I did, because even though I might have a rough night or I didn't plan out something before, I would still have a reset day where I'd kind of reprime myself for the next week, right? So many people get caught up on trying to be perfect instead of just dealing with their life as it comes to them, as authentically and naturally as possible. Number 5, what are your goals for this year? My biggest goal is the one that I'm having in 4 weeks now. I'm doing a Ironman 70.3 in less than 4 weeks, and that has been the biggest goal for me of 2026. And as I'm finishing off the rest of the years, to just help all my clients out as much as possible. Help them hit their 50-pound weight loss goals, as 2 of my clients are absolutely killing it. They're right in their 50-pound fat loss goals. So if you're seeing this, super proud of you. Question 6. Is it bad if I have a cheat meal? I think the biggest issue here is to ask yourself, why am I villainizing food? Right? Cheat meals are not bad. When you group or categorize certain foods and label them as bad, that's exactly how you fall into this pit of, should I eat this, or what should I do next, right? And so it's not about having the cheat meal. It's about the consistency and the routine that you have for yourself throughout the days. Because I lost weight off of cheat meals. My clients all have cheat meals. You don't need to villainize certain food groups, certain things, right? Like carbs are bad, McDonald's is bad. Like, sure, they're not the best for you, but everything in moderation. You're a human being. You are going to die one day. If you live keeping yourself captivated from foods or certain things, that's not fitness to me. That's not healthy. That's a borderline eating disorder. And ultimately, that stems from just having a poor relationship with food in general. And lastly is going to be, I'm eating really clean and I still have lower stomach fat. What do I do? This is the biggest question I get asked, and lower stomach fat is typically the last spot, especially in male individuals, where the fat will actually come off. And that's because your body stores fat in different areas genetically. And so what you need to understand is that once you just strip away all of your fat and you do it sustainably with the least amount of stress as possible, then it's going to eventually get down to your lower stomach fat, which typically comes off last. Because in that state of fat loss, you're depleted on glycogen already, you're pretty deep in a deficit, so your cortisol is heightened. And what you want to do is optimize to lower your cortisol entirely, and also give yourself an adequate amount of recovery and don't stress yourself out too much. And what that does is it helps your body actually comfortably give up that loose, stubborn fat. However, there's no real perfect answer because it just takes time. It really does take time, and that's why it's actually labeled as stubborn fat. And so what I do for you is focus on sustainability first. Don't go cutting your carbs or extreme dieting. Most people fad diet, they'll do a really harsh 1,000-calorie deficit, and this just screws them up because you've already spiked your cortisol and you're not even 2 months into your fat loss yet. And so that's pretty much it. Oh, I got something on my fucking tongue. Chicken. And yeah, I think at the end of the day, the biggest thing people need to understand is that perfection is a false standard. It's something that people think they need to be like to achieve a result when you're just seeing the highlight reels on social media and you're not seeing the longevity in it. The biggest thing I ask every single person I work with is, why do you want to lose the weight in specific? What problem is this solving in your life? And then once you're able to discern and figure that out, you can figure out if you want it for the long run or sustainably, or you just want a quick fix. Because I only work with people who genuinely want sustainability inside of their life so they can fix and repair the poor relationships they not only have with themselves, but around food. And that is the most important thing at the end of the day. Because if your goal is to lose the weight and then potentially regain it back and then lose it again, you're just walking in an eating disorder, a terrible relationship with food, and a terrible relationship with yourself. Because you're constantly in body dysmorphia, self-comparison, right? And so understanding that food isn't bad for you, it's just the choices that you emotionally make will actually give you the results you're looking for. And this is exactly how I was able to lose it working 60-hour weeks, right? Corporate people and just your average Joe doesn't really understand the stress that you go through from working a construction job where there's lots of stress, there's lots of things to focus on. You're working two different stress factors, right? You're physically exhausted, you're mentally exhausted, and it's a lot. It's alarming. And it's funny enough because I actually talked to some of my clients who are in their 50s and they're just learning this stuff now, right? And I'm grateful I've learned these things at 21. However, when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, you need something that's going to stick for you in the long run, or else you're never going to enjoy doing it. You're never going to feel comfortable going out to dinner with your family. And then you're never going to have a healthy relationship, and you're going to think cake is bad for you when cake isn't bad for you. It's a series of other things that you are categorizing cake within. But anywho, that's my yap session. It's pretty windy out. I'm going to go enjoy this day, but God bless.